It started with a simple act, shop owners locking their doors in Tehran's Grand Bazaar on a cold December morning. But what seemed like a local economic protest would soon ignite a nationwide uprising, sweep millions into the street, and shake the Islamic Republic to its core. By late December 2025, everyday life in Iran was painfully hard. The national currency, the rial, had lost massive value, pushing food, fuel, and rent out of reach for millions. Prices were rising faster than most paychecks, a crisis few could ignore. On December 28, something small and yet seismic happened. Merchants in Tehran's Grand Bazaar shut their shops to protest the currency plunge and rising prices. What began as an economic complaint became something much more. Incredible footage began circulating on December 29. A lone man sitting cross-legged in the middle of Jumeirah Avenue in Tehran, blocking advancing security forces. People around the world called him Tehran's Tank Man, a powerful symbol of defiance. Within hours, that image spread across social media, inspiring others. Protests quickly spread from Tehran to Isfahan, Mashhad, Qom, Shiraz, and dozens of cities across Iran. What was economic anger became a broader call for change, with chants echoing in multiple languages and regions. In the first days of January, the government reacted with force. Security forces, including Revolutionary Guard and Basij militias, faced off against growing crowds. Tear gas, batons, and eventually live ammunition were used to disperse demonstrators, turning public squares into battlegrounds. Doctors reported hundreds of severe injuries with gunshot wounds to eyes and heads, a pattern suggesting brutal crackdown rather than controlled crowd management. On December 30, a young protester, Amir Hassoum, was shot and killed during demonstration in western Iran. Authorities pressured his family to describe him as a militant. His family refused. 2 days later in Qom, 70-year-old Mohammad Nouri was shot during clashes near Tawhid Square. His death spread rapidly through encrypted messaging apps, fueling outrage. Names began replacing numbers. By January 8, the government made its next move, a near-total nationwide internet and telephone blackout, cutting Iranians off from the world and each other during the most critical phase of the protests, a tactic designed to disrupt communication and hide the reality of events. For a time, satellite internet via Starlink, the network of satellites from SpaceX, offered a glimpse of connectivity, letting some Iranians share video and messages with the outside world. However, the government banned the Starlink, jammed GPS signals to disrupt it, and later seized Starlink dishes in raids, trying to silence that lifeline too. On the same day as internet blackout, violent events unfolded in furthers. Eyewitness and social media reports described security forces opening fire with heavy weapons, killing dozens of protesters. This was among the first clear episodes where massacre level force was used against civilians. As the unrest grew, the Iranian judiciary began fast-track punishments. One of the most controversial cases was 26-year-old Irfan Saltuni, arrested on January 8 and later sentenced to death on charges of waging war against God, a capital offense in proceedings with no legal defense. The state began farming the protests as foreign-backed operation, pointing to confessions from arrested protesters as evidence. The world did not stay silent. In the United States, former President Donald Trump sent strong messages of support to protesters, saying help is on its way and warning Tehran of severe consequences if execution continued.